Welcome, traders. On January 23rd, I received an email from one of our users and said, "Hi, Chris, how you been? Wanted to share some great news with you. Today I achieved a profit target for 4 different prop firms: Apex, Top Step, Trade Day, and Take Profit. The only thing is, I made the money too quick now. I have to wait to meet the minimum days requirement. Haha. I made your system my own. I love the delta divergence, delta strength, and have grown so much respect for the KP2 ratio. Thank you, thank you." And when I saw that, I thought that I needed to do an interview with Terry so that he could shed some light on what he was doing and his experiences that he went through in order to get to be a funded trader. So with further ado, here's that interview. This is one of Terry's charts, and I just want to remind everybody that what we're doing here is just an interview. This is not trading advice, and past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Welcome, traders. I'm going to do something a little bit different today. I have Terry Brooks here with us, and Terry wrote me a email a couple weeks ago that was kind of interesting. And Terry had previously purchased ZoneTraderPro, and basically I wanted Terry to kind of like give his story about what he was able to accomplish with ZoneTraderPro. So Terry, give us a little idea of how long you've been trading and how long you've had ZoneTraderPro.
I opened my first demo account for trading in September of last year. And then I believe I purchased Zone Trader Pro probably around Black Friday, I think is
Yeah.
when I got it.
Right.
And yeah, and I've kind of just been incorporating it in ever since. I guess I've made all the so I kind of took like a different route, I guess. The first week I opened a demo account, I decided to start doing a prop firm evaluation. So
Sure.
I've been under some type of eval since I started,
Right.
and felt like that was a good move or a bad move. I mean, I've wasted a lot of money on those memberships and resets and stuff, but it made it feel like I had more on the line
Right.
than just trading a demo.
And when
And
you started, before opening or going with the prop firm, because I want to get to that, um, did, did you do all of the training with me before opening those accounts and then opening after the training, or just when the training was wrapping up?
so I started the first my first prop evaluation back in September of 2023.
Okay,
And so it was like the same week that I opened up a demo account, and we did our training, I think, throughout December. I think right before the end of the New Year's when I finished all the training with you, like the 4 or 5
sure,
sessions. And then from there, it was really about trying to figure out how to best utilize the tool, kind of getting a rhythm of when it's providing certain information and what it's telling me. And there were a lot of iterations that I went through as I was sort of implementing your tool. So primarily what I use out of your suite is the KP2 ratio,
sure,
and particularly the graph
right,
at the bottom, and and delta strength. And I actually have those on the same chart. So, and I put them on the top of my monitor, ultra wide, and I
sure,
have them on a 3 second line chart. And so it's just like a little ticker. And so then I actually switched from the line KP2 to bars. And I have it so that I only see the resistance KP2 at the top. I have the line graph with delta strength tickering in the middle, and then I have support at the support KP2 at the bottom. So I actually have two KP2s and delta strength all on the same chart. And that's kind of ticking along every 3 seconds. And
Right.
I use that as sort of getting a it's like a constant pulse of where the market is moving and how strong it's moving in one way or another. And then there's like some time you got to take to kind of understand what it is that you're seeing. Because if the market's pushing up, right, and you see a ton of resistance or what could be perceived as resistance, it may
Sure.
just be a lot of orders are being pushed in that area.
Right.
So you have to decipher whether it's a push in the direction or if it's a lot of limit orders that are being filled at a faster rate that are then going to turn the market. So you have to kind of uh, get in tune with that, right? And then also the ZTP delta strength. And for the ZPT delta strength, I actually use I
I'm
use oh, did you have
I'm
a question?
guessing you're setting it to being able to filter out large trades, or are you using it to just see the strength of a particular bar without a
Yeah.
filter?
So it's on a line chart, and
Hmm.
so it's printing every 3 seconds, and I've found that that's enough time for it to do a quick calculation and then keep moving. And I for volume, I use a volume profile.
Right.
So I don't need the volume. So I've actually changed the settings so that I only see the strength in text, and it
Right.
kind of just tickers across. So I can see if I'm hitting like support or resistance and if strength's coming through all at the same time. And I'm taking that in sort of in combination with what I'm seeing in my other charts. Um, with
When
the
when you when you started in December after we finished, I'm curious, did you have any sort of like did you go through and test through the demo accounts certain plans as to
Yeah.
when you're going to enter, when you're going to exit, things like that? Did you actually create either in your head or written down an actual trading plan?
Yeah, I mean, but like I didn't have like an official trading plan. I think when you start out, you have to just fail a lot and fast. You know,
Right,
you got to do a lot of studying, and then test things out. You need to watch price uh, form, and so that way you can build a sense. And you need to try different things to see what resonates with you in order to help you sort of know when it's go time.
right,
So I was trying everything. You know, I tried so many things. I tried, and I've probably taken like maybe like 10 different courses. I just bought everyone's stuff, you know, all the videos, trader interviews, all that kind of stuff. And, you know, it's very iterative. Like during like from September until January, like my charts probably didn't look the same any 2 days in a row because I was constantly evolving. Market would close and I would think about how I could improve it. Maybe if I had, you know, this differently, you know, I was always making these
right,
iterative changes. And now I'm at the finally at the stage where my charts are very like maybe just a little bit here, a little bit there, but it just like very fine tuning. So at the close of every business or every trade day, I was just trying to see where I can improve, try different things. And so, I mean, I went through a lot of different strategies. You know, all the ones that you can think of, right?
right.
And you know, from Renko, EMA crossovers, you know, all that stuff. I looked into it. And really what has resonated with me is essentially like a supply and demand trader, and then using your order flow products as understanding the beat of the market and when
Right.
it's go time.
See, and one of the things that I've always said, and I tell everybody, is that standard indicators just don't work. You need to see information that provides real-time information and basically be making your decisions on real-time information. Now, the point of your email to me was that you you had just done what?
Yeah, so just passed the eval for so becoming a funded trader for Top Step and Apex and as well as Trade Day, all within like the same few days.
That that's absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Um, Now, for those of us, and because I've never done that, and I'm sure a lot of uh, people looking at this never done that. Explain what you go through, not using my tools, but just explain the process
Hmm.
of getting to be a funded trader, because I think that's what people want to understand. What are the costs? What do you do? And how do
Yeah.
you become successful at it?
Yeah, so essentially you pay a subscription fee, and that subscription fee is going to be based on the size of an account that you're trying to get funded in. Each company has a little bit of unique rules, but in a sense, you have to trade a certain set of products during a certain set of times, and you can't lose a certain amount of money either that day or in total.
Right.
And there's some nuances and stuff. And then once you've hit the profit target and you've had enough trading days, then you pass. And
And
yeah, so
what happens when you pass? What do they do? What do you have access to at that point?
you activate the accounts and all of those are relatively quick. I think I was activated within just a few hours for all the companies, and then from there you're just trading. And I'm just about at the stage where I'm approaching that first payout. You want to give a little bit of
Right,
room before you start pulling from it, but so we're getting there. The goal is to take one out at the end of the month.
right. And I mean, really the unique thing is that we talked briefly before I started the recording, but I personally didn't know that you have just been a trader for 6 months. But obviously in the first 3 months, you built a discipline that, using, my tools and your ideas, where you were disciplined enough that, you didn't take those big losses. And, curious, you know, uh, really want to emphasize to the people watching here that, we're not giving trading advice here, and past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Um, I'm just curious what you use as a profit target, or do you use the tools that you describe and kind of flow and say, if you're long in a trade, you see resistance building, and that's the point you get out. Do you describe your exit process? Because I've always felt that for me, the exit process is the hardest. Getting into a trade real easy, managing it real easy, deciding when to take profit for me has always been the hardest. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean that's it. That one's tough because for me, I struggle with letting my theory on a trade play out.
Right,
But I think I have an idea when I'm entering the trade exactly where I think price is moving. Typically, I look at the market as kind of just ping-ponging back and forth, and if I
right,
know where like those major turning points are, or I have an idea of where I think those major turning points are, and it aligns with the delta divergence and then real-time analytics with the strength and the KP2. That's when I'll enter. But like as it's kind of moving to the next wherever I think the exit is going to be, then if it is showing me like a lot of resistance or I see a lot of delta strength indicators showing it's going the other direction,
Right.
then I'm making a real-time decision to exit. But sometimes what I've noticed is like when I see that sort of push against my trade, it could just be temporary. And that's where I think like risk management really comes into play.
Right.
Because if you aren't trading with all the size that you need, then you can allow it to come back on you, right?
Right.
Oh, and then because you're letting it run longer, even though you're using less size, maybe you catch it over the entire length of the trade. So, I mean,
One of the
it's
things
tough,
that,
man. I toyed around like with set profit targets where like if I wanted to go, if I'm just doing like a quick scalp, if it's like 10 points on the NQ or 3 points on ES, whatever it is that I think the bounce is. But where I've settled and what I like the most is when I can see something happening in the market, like the location,
right.
and where I think it's going to go to, where I think logically it could move to next, and if there's like anything in the way that would prevent it from getting there. And then I'm using the ZTP tools as sort of like the heart rate monitor
Right.
and like the ZPT tools are all the patches on the market's chest telling me what I need to do, or giving me a sense of what action I need to take. I'm
Are you,
still learning. Like
right.
I'm still kind of like getting into the rhythm. And so what I will share is that what I've started to do is when I'm taking trades, I'm recording my screen, but I also have a camera on where I have the camera on me as well. And I'm trying to
See
give
where your eyes looked.
commentary. I'm sorry.
See where your eyes looked.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How I'm acting and also providing like as if I'm telling someone why I'm taking this trade. I feel like that's been
Exactly. You're one of the things that I hope I try to teach everybody is if you can justify, if you can look at a chart and put down what's on that chart to justify you taking that trade, you exiting that trade. I like to come to somebody's chart and say, "Did you see this?" And somebody might not have seen an important piece of information. And if you're not actually sitting there and writing down your justifications for entry and your exit, and then learning from that, I think you're basically doing a trading journal in video, which is, one step higher than, all the books from 20 years ago when I first started studying day trading, to keep a trade journal. And it made sense, but you need to know how to learn from what you saw, what didn't you see
right.
in the previous trade setup. So
Yeah.
one
And
one quick question, because you mentioned risk management. I know that I like to teach that certain patterns that ZoneTrader Pro creates have different risk profiles.
mm.
Are you using that as risk management?
Certain trades, yes. If I can get higher time frame, like I guess confluence, or if there's alignment between what I think my overall bias is for the day, the location on a higher time frame, and then on my lower time frame, it's telling me the same thing. and I have the ZTB stuff telling me that it's go time, then like I'll feel really good about sizing
Okay.
up on something like that. But if I'm just say the market's already moving and I'm just trying to catch a quick pullback so that I can enter and then try
Right.
to ride that, then I'm not putting on as much size because it could easily just turn on me right then, or
Right.
maybe
And
I don't have enough there's maybe just like there's too much of a risk of it just falling back and stopping me out
right.
too quickly.
And so there, what you just described is the strong trend and the strong trend reversal patterns, which is something that I say can be a higher risk, is when the markets move significantly, you're just trying to catch that first pullback. You're already in a strong trend. I'm guessing that that's what you meant by cutting back on your risk there.
Mm.
Correct?
Yeah, yeah. So if it's already moving and I'm just trying to, catch it when it slows down before it presses up. Like if I think there's a logical reason why it would keep moving in the direction that it is, I'll be sort of like sitting at the edge of my seat hoping that it comes back for a second so that way I can catch it when it moves forward.
Right.
And that's actually something that the tools are really good at
Right.
because you might see say we're on an upward trend and then it starts to pull back, you'll get an accumulation
Right.
indicator. And and then you'll probably see the KP2 ratio start to really show
Show you the
strong
support.
support.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. And then if you see some strength come in, like that's pretty good sign to go
Right.
ahead and buy in. Um, and that's another thing I've noticed, which is nice about the delta divergence, is it kind of gives you a sense of which way the market is moving overall. So if you're consistently seeing accumulation, then you probably the market's moving upwards
Right.
that day, right? If you're
Right.
seeing constant distribution, and then if you're seeing bearish or bullish on the other side, you probably want to be betting on the other side of the market.
Exactly. Exactly.
So you can kind
Well,
of get a sense there.
yeah. That, like I said, it's just it's an even more, to me, it's even more amazing story. And unfortunately, I've kind of lost the light from my background here.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's really an amazing story to go from not being a trader to buying Zone Trader Pro and basically the beginning and starting to learn at the beginning of December. And now it's Valentine's Day and you're a funded trader. I mean,
Yep.
it's just congratulations to you on that. And just congratulations on how you went about doing it. The studying that you did in order to take the tool that you had, which is, I think a very um, uh, I want to, the word I'm looking for, the tool can be used in many different ways because what you described to me, I actually had never even thought of. And, if when after we conclude here, tomorrow or the next day when you have a chance, send me a little a video snippet, 3 or 4 minutes of a trade entry and a trade exit, what you're looking at, and I'll include that for people to look at and learn from, basically kind of what you're seeing and how you're making your decisions. So I
Yeah.
really want to thank you for taking the time, and I wish the sun stayed up a little bit longer here, but that,
No
that
worries.
is, that is that is not going to happen. So appreciate the time, and thank you so much for the interview.
Yeah.
And like I said, I wanted to just say it was an amazing kind of deal to be able to do that for what you did and where
Thanks.
you started. So
Thank you.
thanks. And we'll end it here. And just want to remind everybody that, again, what Terry is showing is not in any way trading advice. just simply how he is setting up his charts and
Do you
basically
mind if I
what,
just
sure, go.
I would just like to say that like if you're someone who's trying to figure this out, like it's a tool. Like I'm not going to be able to use a knife like a chef, or
Right,
whatever it is. You got to figure it out for yourself.
right.
The tool is not going to do the trading for you. You
Exactly.
have to get in tune with the tool. You have to make it your own, adjust the settings, and then you have to try and then try things and then make iterative changes to something that makes sense to you, and then eventually you'll reach a point where you'll realize that you have your edge. And then once you have your edge, it's all about psychology, but then that's going to need to be another call, Chris.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, thank you so much for the time, and we'll be talking to you soon. Thank you very much.